Life was awful. Every day was just a struggle. Just fear, basically. Fear of being ill because I couldn't get my drugs. Fear of having to find money. Fear of not being able to get the drugs once I've got the money. Fear of them being able to have to do it somewhere where no one noticed. And then every day the same thing. And obviously I've got family that really care about me, so it's really difficult having to lie to them, keep them out of my life and isolate myself, and just a really miserable existence basically. My family wanted me to go to rehab, which I've done a couple of times, and I wasn't keen on doing it again because I just knew it wasn't for me. It's not something that I felt would help me. But obviously that didn't go down well because they saw it as me not wanting to get better. So I cut off from my family for a while, which, you know, made me feel really bad. And so one day I thought, right, I'll go down to the library and I'll do some research, see if there's a rehab about that is a bit more alternative, or, you know, that does something that maybe, you know, is more applicable to me. And then I came across this article of this guy who'd gone to Africa to do ibogaine, and then yeah, I'd not spoken to my dad for months, and I heard his mum was poorly. And so obviously I rang him to see how he was doing, and it was funny because just a few days before I spoke to him, around the same time that I'd found out about ibogaine, he had found out about ayahuasca, and he was saying about, Natalie, you know, I've found something that I think will help you, you know, that might help reset this pattern in your head of having to use drugs, and it's called ayahuasca. And when he was describing it, I said, that sounds like what I've just looked at about ibogaine. And it was quite surreal, really, almost like fate. So then he started investigating places where he could do it, and unfortunately the only place that did do it in England closed down because it's illegal. But he found a phone number on there. He contacted, I can't remember who it was, and they put him in contact with Tabula Rasa, and that's how we found it. We did look at other places, but they didn't seem to offer the same level of care as they do here, you know, like the medical side of it. You know, because obviously 17 years of being on heroin, and especially with the crack as well, I was really worried about my health. And I've heard about, you know, how it can affect your heart when you do ibogaine. And when I spoke to the people at these other resorts, they weren't too fussed about, you know, getting tests done before I came, you know, oh, just come and we'll see how you are and things like that. And it just didn't seem like, you know, they cared about me. Just get here, pay the money, and do you know what I mean? So yeah, when my dad was contacting here, it was like, right, we want these tests done, and you need to go through these steps, and that people knew what they were doing. And you know, also you've got the medical side, but the fact that it's such a homely sort of setting. I think it's a perfect balance. I arrived a day earlier because I couldn't get a flight, so I had the place to myself. and I was just overwhelmed with the beauty of it. It was lovely. You know, all the animals and the house itself. You know, it's nice how it's just out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I was impressed. It wasn't quite what I expected because, all the things that we'd researched in the videos, people saying like, you know, I did the ibogaine, yeah, I was a bit poorly for a couple of days, but you know, I had the grey day, and then the day after that, I was amazing, and I assumed it'd be the same for me. But I don't know if it was because, you know, I've just hammered my body or what, but I really struggled with it because I was just so ill for so long. But the actual experience of doing the ibogaine itself was all right. Yeah, you know, you get poorly and stuff, but that wasn't too bad. It was afterwards, my body trying to recover. That's what I struggled with. I got a vision of like this big tree that me and like a community lived in the hollowness of this big huge tree, and all of a sudden this big black woman, but she was green, almost like a genie kind of shape, came floating up from the middle, and you know, she started like scolding me, but you know, like in a motherly sense, like, you need to start looking after yourself, you know, why are you being so hard on yourself? Don't be so cruel to your body, you know, start being healthy. And I think if I'd gone home when I was supposed to go home, I was booked in for 2 weeks, because they said I needed not just the week like the other guy who was with me on the first week, because obviously the length of my addiction and my health. So I was supposed to go home yesterday, which was Sunday, after 2 weeks, which obviously I was looking forward to going home. And if I'm perfectly honest, I had ideas of, you know, just going home and maybe using one more time. So people were persuading me, you know, stay another week, and I really didn't want to. But in the other half of my mind, I thought it'll be good for me. But I was adamant that I wanted to go home. And then I spoke to my dad, and I realised just how much people cared about me getting better, and that made me care about getting better. And I decided to stay an extra week, and just these past couple of days has made so much difference. I really think that this week will give me a much better chance of staying clean, and it's something that I actually feel quite positive that I'm not going to go back to. Because I've been so poorly, I don't think I've had the best of what they're offering here yet, because I've not been able to fully engage. But I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to be able to take it in, and I think the therapies will really help me this week. The exercises have been great. The people are really supportive. It's different to other places I've been to. It's not the same sort of therapies which didn't help me. I think they've got the right idea here with the therapies that they use. At first I was a bit nervous about speaking to other people, but when I was actually doing it, I found it really helpful, because I felt like I was the only one who was struggling, and that other people who had been here had you know, got it like that, and you know, it had clicked for them straight away. And I heard other people's experiences saying, you know, that it doesn't happen necessarily straight away, but you know, a couple of weeks down the line, you know, it's really helped them, and that helped me, because it gave me hope that, you know, I'm in the same boat with other people, that, you know, it can work for me. And yeah, it was definitely a good thing speaking to the people online. Could really relate to them. In the past, I've, you know, when I've tried to get myself clean, I've just tried to do it on my own, and you just can't. You need other people that understand, because although your family, they care and, you know, they want to understand, they're not going to understand. And you need to speak to people who have gone through what you've gone through, and, you know, who can give you advice and give you support. So it's definitely something that will help. So it's worth doing every week, I reckon. I feel actually really positive, which is nice, because I've not felt like that while I've been feeling so rubbish. But now that I'm feeling better, my whole mindset's changed. You know, I've got goals that I want to achieve, and, you know, I'm not trying to think too big about, you know, doing all these things that I've missed out on, the, you know, like going to uni and getting a great job and stuff. I just want to do little things that are just going to help me get by every day. So I'm quite positive about when I get back that I'll be able to cope. So yeah, mentally I'm in a good place right now. Not to think of it as some miracle cure, which a lot of stuff out there, when I was researching, it was coming across as like something that you'd take and you'd be totally fixed. You have got to suffer a bit, but that's all part of it, because if you don't suffer, it's not going to be worth it. But if you can stick it out, it is worth it in the end, definitely, because I've tried so many different things, and they just don't give you what you need. And I think this is something that will definitely help people. And it's, you know, it's natural, it's a plant, you know, it's not methadone, it's not stuff that ruins your body, it's something that can actually really heal you. So stick with it, even if you feel crap for, you know, a week or 2 weeks like I did. It gets better, and, you know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they're doing here.